Barbering is far more than just cutting hair. It's a practice woven into the fabric of human history. From ancient times, barbering has played a role in religious, medical, and political spheres. As we begin this journey, imagine the significance of hair in early societies and how barbers were respected figures. Throughout millennia, barbering evolved alongside civilization, adapting to cultural shifts and technological advancements. In this lesson, we'll explore how barbering shaped and was shaped by the world, from the earliest tools to the modern barbershop. Let's dive into the fascinating history and see how this profession became a cornerstone of society. Have you ever gazed at a portrait of a historical figure and wondered who was responsible for their hairstyle? The art of barbering is deeply intertwined with the appearance of leaders, thinkers, and influencers throughout history. As you enter the profession, you become part of a tradition that has shaped the way people present themselves for centuries. Knowing this history gives you a sense of pride and belonging, connecting you to generations of barbers who have made their mark. Let's explore how barbering has influenced the look and status of historical figures and how you can carry this legacy forward. Barbering has played a vital role in both Eastern and Western cultures. From ancient rituals to everyday grooming, barbers were often seen as trusted professionals. In this scene, we'll identify how barbering was practiced in different regions and how it evolved through the Middle Ages and into the 1800s. The profession adapted to societal changes, reflecting shifts in fashion, status, and technology. Understanding these developments helps us appreciate the depth and diversity of barbering as a craft and a cultural institution. From the 1500s to the 1700s, wigs became a symbol of status and fashion, especially among royalty and nobility. Barbers played a crucial role in wig-making, elevating their position in society. The iconic barber pole also emerged during this period, with its red, white, and blue spirals symbolizing bloodletting and medical practices. As the modern barbershop began to take shape, important events marked its evolution. Let's discuss how wigs and barber poles became integral to the profession and compare the milestones that led to the contemporary barbershop. The roots of the modern barbershop stretch back to ancient Egypt and even earlier. The English word barber comes from the Latin barba, meaning beard. Egyptians were among the first to cultivate their appearance in extravagant ways, with razors dating back to 3500 BCE. Barbering was a prestigious role, often associated with religious rituals and purification. Royalty and religious elites shaved their bodies as part of these practices, and barbering instructions were even inscribed in the Bible. This scene highlights how barbering was intertwined with spirituality and social status in ancient Egypt. In the Stone Age, tradesmen used sharpened flint, oyster shells, and bone to cut hair. Tomb excavations have revealed combs made from wood, fish bones, and mammoth ivory. Hair was believed to possess spiritual qualities, and cutting it was thought to release evil spirits. The style and cut of a person's hair indicated their rank in society, and only those with highly honored religious or medicine man roles performed these tasks. This scene explores the early tools and spiritual beliefs that shaped barbering's origins. Egyptians were pioneers in cultivating their appearance. The first known historical mention of a barber is Meramad around 1300 BCE. Egyptian razors from 3500 BCE show the long-standing tradition of grooming. Barbers held religious prestige, with royalty and religious elites shaving their bodies as purification rituals. Barbering instructions are even found in the Bible, emphasizing its importance in spiritual and social contexts. This scene delves deeper into how barbering was a symbol of status and ritual in ancient Egypt. Many barbering traditions come directly from the Greeks and Romans. Greek men oiled and shaped their hair and beards, often in imitation of Zeus. After defeat in battle, Alexander the Great decreed that all soldiers shave their beards. Barbering and styling became respected arts in Greek society. Roman magistrate Ticinius Mina brought the first barbers and clean-shaven look to Rome, setting trends that were mirrored by the powerful elite. This scene highlights the influence of Greek and Roman customs on barbering. Barbering in Asian and African societies developed in similar ways to Western cultures, but with distinct styles, religions, hair types, and textures. Hair length often symbolized status, with noblemen wearing long hair tied in top knots and men of higher social status in the Vedic period shaving their heads except for a lock of hair. Braids and ribbons were common, and religious customs greatly influenced grooming practices. This scene explores the diversity of barbering traditions across continents. Religion has played a significant role in barbering and shaving customs. Buddhist monks completely shave their heads as a sign of devotion. Sikhs practice kesh, meaning they never cut their hair, while Islam advises men to let their beards grow but trim their mustaches closely. These customs reflect deep spiritual beliefs and cultural values, showing how barbering is more than just grooming, it's a reflection of identity and faith. Shaving services are a long-standing tradition in Africa. Due to the tight curl texture of African hair, men are susceptible to ingrown beards, making skilled barbers essential. Barbers carefully shave faces, often practicing in open-air markets, sidewalks, and roadsides. This scene highlights the importance of barbering in African societies and the unique challenges faced by barbers in these communities. Before the Industrial Revolution, the fortunes of barbers rose and fell with their favor among nobility and clergy. Barbers were often closely tied to the elite, and their status depended on their relationships with powerful figures. This scene explores how barbering was influenced by social hierarchies and how barbers navigated the changing landscape of pre-industrial society. During the Middle Ages, styled hair and clean-shaven faces lost popularity in the West. Hair length became a symbol of power and rank. Kings wore their hair flowing down their backs, free men kept it just above their shoulders, and slaves had their heads shaved. Christian monks adopted the tonsure, a distinctive shave style. In 1093 CE, clergy were forbidden from wearing beards, leading to the first official organization of barbers, the Barbers' Company of France. This scene examines the changing trends and the rise of barber organizations. In medieval Europe, barbers were asked to assist clergy with surgical and dental procedures. Clergy could only attend the sick as spiritual ministers, and were later forbidden from involvement where blood was present. Barbers took over minor procedures, becoming known as barber surgeons. Europeans relied heavily on barber surgeons, even including them in expeditions to America. This scene explores the medical role of barbers and their rise as barber surgeons. Barber surgeons began to organize into guilds, with the Worshipful Company of Barbers formed in 1308. In 1540, they merged with the Fellowship of Surgeons to become the Company of Barbers and Surgeons. Rules were established to define which medical procedures were performed by barber surgeons and which by surgeons. Bloodletting became a common practice, with barbers cutting veins and wrapping arms in bandages. In 1745, surgeons and barber surgeons were permanently separated by royal decree, marking the end of barbers' medical roles. Before the breakup of the professions, barber surgeons reached high positions in society by taking up wig-making. Wigs were fashionable across Europe for both male and female royalty and nobility from the 1500s into the 1700s. Wig-making skills placed barbers in important positions within royal courts, elevating their status and influence. This scene highlights the transition from medical roles to fashion and the significance of wig-making in barbering history. The barber pole is a symbol rich in history. The white spiral represents bandages washed and hung to dry after bloodletting, which wrapped around the pole in a spiral effect. The red spiral symbolizes blood on the bandages, while the blue spiral was added later, possibly as a tribute to the American flag or to represent veins. Caps on the top and bottom of the pole symbolize the bowls used by barber surgeons to collect blood and contain leeches. This scene explains the origins and meaning behind the iconic barber pole. At the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, barbering became separated from religion, politics, and medicine. The profession began to focus more on grooming and style, adapting to the changing needs of society. This shift marked the start of modern barbering, with new tools and techniques emerging. The scene explores how industrialization transformed the barbering profession and set the stage for its future development. From the late 1700s to World War I, mass-produced products made tools and machines more accessible. People and goods could travel easily, leading to population growth and unsanitary urban centers. Barbering services varied in skill, health, and safety, prompting the need for organization and regulation to restore public trust. This scene discusses the challenges and changes faced by barbers in rapidly growing cities. Barbering unions began to appear as professional barbers sought to promote a more respectable professional image. The Barbers' Protective Union was formed in 1886, elevating barbers' standing in society. The first barber school and textbooks appeared in 1893, followed by the first barber license in 1897. Rigorous cleaning and disinfection practices were introduced in 1916. Organizations like AMBBA and NABBA regulated training and licensure, establishing codes of ethics and professional responsibility. This scene highlights the rise of unions and boards in shaping modern barbering. The first half of the 20th century saw a barber boom. Practices became standardized and sanitary, with men's fashions favoring clean-shaven and short-haired styles. Women began visiting barbershops for bob haircuts, and men visited weekly to keep their hair neat. The Beatles' mop-top hairstyle in the 1960s sparked a decline in demand for barbering services, while the 1980s saw the rise of unisex salons. By the mid-1990s, full-service salons and spas became more common. This scene explores the changing trends and the impact of fashion on barbering. More classically masculine barbering arts and grooming styles began to reemerge in the late 1990s. Styling products targeted specifically to men became widespread, and barber school enrollment surged in the early 2000s. A new generation embraced traditional trades, including craft beer brewing, coffee roasting, mixology, tattoo design, and barbering. The 2010s saw beard design return to the forefront, with high-style barbershops offering straight razor shaves and beard trimming. Women now make up 30% of barbering clients. This scene highlights the revival and diversification of modern barbering. Throughout this lesson, check what you know questions help affirm your understanding of key points. These checkpoints are designed to reinforce important concepts and ensure that you grasp the historical, cultural, and professional aspects of barbering. By reflecting on these questions, you can track your progress and deepen your appreciation for the craft. Let's continue to validate your learning as we move forward. As you answer check what you know questions, you validate your understanding of barbering's history and practices. These questions encourage you to recall key facts, connect concepts, and apply your knowledge. Celebrating what you've learned not only boosts confidence but also prepares you for real-world application. Let's recognize your achievements and continue building your expertise. Celebrating what you've learned is an important part of the educational journey. By reviewing key points and reflecting on your progress, you reinforce your understanding and gain confidence in your skills. This scene encourages you to appreciate the milestones you've reached and look forward to applying your knowledge in the barbering profession. Reflecting on your progress helps you identify strengths and areas for improvement. By revisiting key concepts and practices, you solidify your understanding and prepare for future challenges. This scene encourages you to take pride in your journey and continue striving for excellence in the barbering profession. Celebrating achievements is a key part of learning. By acknowledging your successes and understanding the history and practices of barbering, you build a strong foundation for your career. This scene encourages you to recognize your accomplishments and continue growing as a professional. Learning milestones mark your progress and help you stay motivated. By celebrating each step, you reinforce your commitment to mastering the craft of barbering. This scene highlights the importance of recognizing milestones and encourages you to keep moving forward. Reviewing your learning and celebrating your achievements helps you stay engaged and confident. By reflecting on what you've learned, you prepare yourself for future challenges and opportunities in the barbering profession. This scene encourages you to continue building your skills and knowledge. As we conclude this lesson, take a moment to celebrate your learning journey. The history of barbering is rich and diverse, and your understanding of its religious, medical, and political roots prepares you for a successful career. This scene encourages you to embrace your role in the profession and continue striving for excellence. Barbering has left a lasting legacy on society. From ancient rituals to modern styles, the profession has adapted and thrived. By understanding its history, you become part of a tradition that continues to shape the way people present themselves. This scene encourages you to honor the legacy of barbering and contribute to its ongoing evolution. Your journey in barbering is just beginning. With a strong foundation in history and practice, you are ready to make your own mark in the profession. Continue learning, growing, and celebrating your achievements as you build your career. This final scene encourages you to stay inspired and committed to excellence in barbering.